I had a really rough childhood. My mom had a drug addiction problem for most of my life. All I ever knew in my life was addiction. As I got older, I went to church and I went to camp, and I just never really cared. And I just didn't know how to deal with the pain. I started hanging out with all the wrong friends, and I got into partying and drinking and smoking, and that's all I cared about. I didn't care about school. I was flunking, I was skipping, I didn't care about my family, I didn't care about what anybody thought about me. I just remember always sneaking out at night during the weekends and leaving my little sister at home. And I would come home drunk, and she would have to see me like that. I would come home high, and she would have to see me like that. I had to be the influence for her, and I wasn't that influence. She had to see my mom go through everything and go through all of her addiction problems, and I was supposed to be there for my little sister, and I wasn't. I was doing the same exact thing that my mom was doing. I would smoke almost every single day, and I would get drunk every weekend, and I would go to church on Sunday and just not even realize that there was anything wrong with me. It was 6 days before camp, and I was at my aunt's house, and something had upset me that night. All I wanted to do was find some weed and smoke, and that night I got caught. I had never felt so broken in my life. Inside of me just felt terrible. I just felt ripped apart. I've never felt that before. That was right before camp, and so I went into camp just so broken, and just I didn't feel like I had anywhere to go in life. I felt like there was nothing for me. I didn't feel like God would forgive me. I had no idea what to do. I didn't feel like my friends or my family would ever forgive me for anything. And I remember the very first night, the pastor said, God does not care what you've done in your past. He will love you no matter what. No matter what you've done, you can do the worst thing and He will forgive you, and He will love you no matter what. I was just like, really? And I got so happy, and it filled me with hope. And that night, while we were worshiping, I prayed and I said, God, I surrender my whole life to you. I'm tired of fighting against you. I'm tired of being this person who doesn't care about anything. I'm tired of just living this life in loneliness and just in hurt, and I just want to be this new person. God, please change me. You know, just because I accepted Jesus Christ in my heart, it doesn't mean that I'm not going to have problems in my life. I'm not going to live this spotless, perfect life. I mean, I'm going to go through trials and I'm going to go through tribulations, but I know God has overcome every single one of them. I know God has overcome every single one of my struggles. I know God is better and He is stronger than every single one of them. This year was probably the hardest year for me, just staying strong in God, because it would be easier for me just to go back into my old ways. And you know, it's kind of hard going through school being the Jesus freak, but I don't regret anything at all, and it's so worth it. What I've realized is that, you know, the person I am today was not because of the mistakes I made in the past.